Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And you guessed it, my friends, we have yet another amazing guest this morning. A full-time corporate recruiter is going to talk about her persistence, her determination in making that leap, that transition from, employment to entrepreneurship. As always, we've got, real conversations here on the show with real clients. That's what this show is all about. No scripts, no prepping, no planning, have no idea what questions are going to be asked. The guest isn't prepped or anything of that nature. It's just straight, real, raw. And exactly what you see is what you get. And with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in and welcome our guest, my friend Tamara. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hey, Dave.
Where are you calling in from this morning?
Arizona, hot Arizona.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I can certainly relate. Hello from Florida. So gosh, you know what? Let's start back at the beginning here, as I like to do. What was the thing that motivated you to want to get started in this whole internet marketing business and learn these skills in the first place?
Well, I think like a lot of people, it's the cost of living and inflation. And for me, my helping out my husband, being in recruiting, you get to see, or I get to see firsthand how crazy the job market is and has been for a very, very long time.
Mm.
Um, the money gap, the gender. Yep.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. So, so recruiting, corporate recruiting is what your employment is, your career, your main career is, and just not enough. Bottom line is not enough money at the end of the month. There's more month than money, and this is true both with you and the people that you're seeing that you're placing or you're finding jobs for, right?
Very much so. Yes. And so many people applying to the same job, like
Mm.
thousands of people applying for the same job. So corporate America there's just not a whole lot out there. And I feel like it's getting worse
Mm.
the longer we go. So finding an extra place to make income, I've always loved internet marketing. But I have to say, Dave, I just want to say thank you so much for this program that you've created. I watch Wake Up Legendary as much as I can.
Mm.
I still have my corporate job, so in between that. But
Mhm.
what you have is pretty fantastic.
Well, thank you for that. What has been, what's resonated most with you?
I have to pick one thing. All of it. I am one of those people where I came into this knowing that I would have to put a little bit of money into it.
Mhm.
You always have to put something into it, whether it's monetary, time. But I went into this knowing that I was going to spend something, and it wasn't a lot because I had a full-time job. I was able to do it. But the community, the way you have this laid out is like nothing out there. I am one of those people that do buy courses to see what else is out there, to not necessarily compare, but I've done that. I've purchased these other crazy things out there. All of the top ones, I could name them, but I won't.
Mm.
And I keep coming back to Legendary Marketer, the blueprints, the stuff that you guys continue to put out. It's second to none. And I'm not just saying that. It's great.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. There is a lot of things out there, and uh, the beautiful thing is we all get to make our own decisions, and even more so, we get to be responsible for those decisions, and we can take responsibility or we can play a victim. But in the world of entrepreneurship, there is no victims. There's only volunteers. If we get on the internet and we want to make extra money, because whatever choices we have made or whatever actions we have taken in the past aren't enough, and we want to take more action and make more choices, take more risk. That's something that if we're going to get results, comes with a lot of personal responsibility with it, a lot of honesty. And I'm glad that, our message resonates with you and that you're getting value. I think most people will here if they actually go through the curriculum and apply what they're learning. I think way too many times people come in to this similarly as they've come into many things out there, business opportunities or courses, with sort of unrealistic expectations, maybe some greed, maybe some attitude of entitlement. But the truth is that, building a business and being an entrepreneur is very different than going to school and getting a job and sort of the workforce. The buck stops with you. And that's a very different mindset. How have you embraced that, even though it is so drastically different? Most like, in a job, you have rights. As a business owner, you have no rights. You're the one who has to make sure that you respect others' rights. As a job, as an employee, you're entitled to a paycheck. As a business owner, you better make sure you pay your people, right? Or else you're not going to have employees anymore. So as much as sometimes business owners like to get vilified, the truth is that, America is built on entrepreneurship and built on people creating opportunity and then providing opportunity for other people. But it comes with a price. That comes with a price. So how has that transition been for you? What's been the hardest parts, or what's been also parts that you enjoy about it?
Because I talk a lot, I'm going to say the hardest part is staying focused, not being distracted. And because I still have a long way to go. I'm still very new in my journey. I was just listening to last week's Legendary when I try and listen to Wake Up Legendary as much as I can because I love all of them. But yeah, I think the getting distracted part is the most challenging. Monkey see, monkey do. You call it different things. You see all this stuff out there. I've made the same mistakes. Let's just take Stand Store, for example. You see everybody using Stand Store and you're like, oh, maybe I should be using Stand Store, which I made that mistake too. I did do that. And then I got rid of that. And so finding, I think, what works for each individual person is super important. I got distracted with that too. I actually didn't feel like I started going anywhere until I really stopped and said, what's best for me? And then continually going back to the program, because I think a lot of us, I went through this in August of 2023. I was so freaking excited. I'm still so excited. And then got lost, stepped off. And then I'm like, wait a second, go back to the basics. The foundation, I think, is so important, which I think people really, really miss out on, is just the basics and building a strong foundation. I have so much to say on this, but yeah, I think that's one of the big pieces for me anyway.
Yeah. I mean, entrepreneurship gives you the ability to put your focus wherever you want to put your focus. I mean, that's kind of what we're all chasing, is freedom. And entrepreneurship is full of freedom. You've got amazing positive freedom, which comes from, ironically, intensely focused freedom.
Yeah.
And that's the piece that I think we get backwards, is that we don't dial our focus at the beginning. Nowadays, I think the internet is even full of more distractions. It's like that everywhere. It's not just, it's like that everywhere, all over the internet. There's a new thing to look at every second. And the freedom from entrepreneurship that is available to us comes only, and that's a delayed freedom. It doesn't come at the beginning. It comes only through intensely focused action at the beginning, where you really have to learn to tune out all of the noise and not get lost in comparing yourself with others, or, as you said, this whole Stand Store
that's just one.
Happened. That's a great example. I mean, we teach here the power of direct response marketing, which means that you only ask a customer to make one decision at a time.
Which is gold.
That alone, that concept alone has made me more money in my career than maybe any other, because it's the difference between, for example, using a website where somebody can come and shop around
and get confused,
or and they shop and then they leave, or using a funnel. And the power of the funnel, here's the power of a funnel, is that you're asking the customer to do one step at a time. And at each step, there's something for them and you. Starting with the landing page, there's something free for them they're going to get in exchange for their email, so you can follow up, because they're most likely not going to buy that first time through. Same thing on the thank you page or the bridge page. There's something more there for them to learn. They're going to get information or confirmation about that free gift, as well as maybe a special surprise that you're going to introduce them to something, a product that you recommend. And in exchange for that click, you're going to get a click on your affiliate link and have a chance to make a commission for a sale. Whereas somewhere along the lines in our community, and I believe others, not so much in our community, but just affiliates who were promoting our product started using Stand Store, because many of them didn't actually go through our training. And you know, their Stand Store was, and still is, it's like a link tree chocked full of 5 or 6 different things, which if the customer knew what they needed to buy, they wouldn't need to click on your Stand Store. They wouldn't need to, you're right. So they don't know what they need. It's our job as the marketer to take them by the hand through a process, one step at a time, so they don't have to ever make any more than one decision at a time.
And right there is so important and so confusing out in the world right now. Like, I know this sounds so simple, but the basics and the foundation that Legendary teaches is so needed and so important. Like, everybody, I feel like online, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, is just confused. Like, I feel like there's just so much information. And that's one of the biggest things I love about Legendary, is how you all break it down, how we are supported if we need it. We have a place to go. There's so much.
It's actually only that example that we're giving right now, where people are, where like affiliate marketers and course creators are using this Stand Store thing. I'm not saying there's not a purpose for Stand Store. If you're selling a course, which is one of the core 4 business models that we teach, then Stand Store can actually help give you a shopping cart to take payments.
Sure.
It's got a good use, but not as a landing page, right?
Or
it's
in the
beginning,
in the beginning, yeah.
It's right. It's not a useful tool in the beginning, because it's basically a oversimplified website, which we teach the difference between a website and a funnel right on day 1 of the challenge. And so, you know, it's actually, if you look at actual successful people who are, I'm not talking about flash in the pans, or people who are just maybe good at creating content, but the more you listen to them, the more you realize they don't really know what they're talking about. I'm talking about people who have been in the game for a long time, that are teaching or have real credibility over time. They're not misusing software tools and confusing people. It's just a small segment of the kind of internet marketing community, mainly bad apples. And those bad apples have the ability to sign up as an affiliate for any company. We had some of them. We've parted ways with some of them. They wouldn't conform to our compliance agreements in terms, even after, and it's fine. It's no big deal. The overall internet marketing community, and particularly when you listen to some of the legends in the game, some of the people who have been teaching and doing direct response marketing, some of which I cover right there in the Affiliate Marketing Business Blueprint in that first section about the history of the industry, as well as people like, Russell Brunson, people like, even Alex Hormozy is a great direct response marketer. Cody Sanchez, great up and coming direct response marketer. And then you go into some of the legends, people like, or the old school guys, the Frank Kearns, the, Andy Jenkins, rest in peace. And then even further back, the Gary Halberts, the John Carltons, the David Ogilvies. I mean, these were people back in the, 60s, 70s who were writing sales letters for fitness programs in using direct response mail to mail them out. They didn't even have the internet. So they had to use good direct response marketing principles. They would mail out a sales letter that would have a little thing that you would tear out at the bottom, that you would write in your information and include a check with it, and you'd have to mail it back in order to get the program, the book, the tapes, the whatever they were, the VHS or the 8 tracks or whatever they were, to get those back. That was how information was sold at one time before the evolution of the internet. And so, you're pointing out some powerful and important things, and it's great to elaborate on this so people can realize that not everybody is worth listening to, and oftentimes the more you can clear out your inbox and your social media, unfollow people. I mean, every few months or even month, all of you should go onto your social media when you're feeling yourself in scroll mode. Instead of just aimlessly scrolling, just unfollow people. So you can still scroll, but you can unfollow, and you should be narrowing down who you're watching always, not because you don't want to be taking in information. It's that you're not going to use, there's no way that you can use everything anyways. It all just becomes a great distraction. So I think as you grow and scale, I'll pause here. It's really important to both focus on who you're learning from, but also to focus on who you are blocking out and not listening to as well.
Oh my God. It's so true who you're learning from, because there's so many people out there who you're learning from, someone who's been in it and done it for a while, which is one of the reasons I have stuck with Legendary. There's so many new things coming out these days. It's crazy. So easy to get distracted. I still strongly believe that the majority of the people are still needing to know good quality basics and foundation.
Basics.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the basics of this stuff is where all of it's like the 80-20 rule. Like, the basics are the 20% of everything that you can learn that's going to get you 80% of your results. And most people spend 80% all of their time, or most of their time, trying to figure out the 80% of fancy BS that's going to get you only 20 or less percent. Here's another thing I want to say, and I'm going to double down on this. If you're learning from people that need to sell products from bashing other people, being a victim,
yes,
or trying to, if they are saying I am a victim, or I was, or needing to market their products because by throwing other people under the bus, and in doing so claiming that they're like, they're like a victim, but yet they're marketing something. Their marketing strategy is to bash other people, is to, to gossip, look, save yourself time. There's a reason why in 13 years, and you can go back through all our Wake Up Legendaries, all of the content that I've ever created, you'll never hear me say a single person's name. You'll never even hear if they're bashing or they're, quote, competitors, or you'll never hear me give them that airtime, because first and foremost, it's just unwise. It's
Yeah.
unwise for me to send people to somebody who's bashing us or is a competitor trying to, they just want a reaction and they have no better marketing strategy than to try to bash. Every single person over the lifetime of Legendary Marketer who has said, "Oh, my thing's going to be the death of Legendary," or try to, hurt us or hurt our employees and our team or our company by trying to bash us, slander us, promote their products through negative, smear hit job marketing. We have continued to thrive and they have all gone away or their business has massively shrunk. So here's my point in saying that is that if you're learning from somebody like that, you're eventually going to model what they do
Yeah.
and you're going to be desperate because all entrepreneurs are desperate at some time. You get, desperate people do desperate things. And sometimes you double down, you either had a breakdown or a breakthrough. And so many people have a breakdown and they, they, they kind of lower themselves to almost, it's like politics, how they go in, they try to promote themselves through bashing other people. Friends, no great customers want to buy products through that form of marketing. And so if you're following people who are doing that, bail now and save yourself
A lot of time.
a lot of time and a lot of energy in drama. You need to clear your plate of all drama and set boundaries both in your personal life and in your internet marketing work so you can have a clear head and a clear heart and be focused on things that are actually going to work long term and
that are proven
and that are proven and that are that are not slimy and scummy and this is just a big thing that I've seen. I've seen it intermittently over the last
It's big.
years. It is big. And the reason why people have to default to that is because they just haven't learned the basics. They don't know how to create value. They don't know how to get attention in any other way. And they're desperate. You can see it they're desperate. They use words like tea, gossip, things like this. And it's all just a way to fake that they have value to provide.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. If you fall off the wagon, go back to your back office.
I mean, there's a reason why we give people the blueprints as a sort of quote lifetime or ongoing access. It's not a wonderful business strategy on our part. I mean, most of the companies who sort of like Netflix, they charge a subscription ongoing. Granted, there's not a larger upfront fee. So there's that. We charge a larger upfront fee and then no ongoing fee. But you have access to that on an ongoing basis. All upgrades and updates are free. And most people underutilize that training. Everything you need to know, as you're pointing out and saying, in order to get to, this is not an income claim or a guarantee of income, but what you need to know to get to your first 6 and then 7 figures is all within that training. It's all there.
Yeah. And if you need help, you guys have it, which is another thing that I love so much about your guys' program. I have utilized your coaching, which has done a lot for me. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop. You guys have been around for a long time. You know what you're doing. It's proven. And I think that is the biggest thing to tell people is to block everything out, pick something and stick with it, because I made that mistake too, where I went into it and you saw all these things and felt like you had to go elsewhere. And I'm like, wait a second, I have everything that I need. I have already purchased it. I just need to implement it and go back and reread it. And because you forget things, there's a lot of stuff back there. You guys have a lot of stuff. So
yeah. And it's also like reading a book or watching a movie the second time. Oftentimes you'll notice or see things that you
differently. Yeah.
I think there's the big missing piece for most people who come through our training. I can't speak for others because, so much training out there is just rehashed garbage. It's it's PLR. It's kind of, this, I explain what PLR is. This big new movement of resell rights crap is just,
Yeah.
it's just very generic, low grade knowledge that's being kind of pumped and passed around. But also, if you go into a lot of training courses, they're underwhelming. I mean, there's a lot of training courses that are even not PLR or any sort of a resell deal that also is underwhelming. And the reason why is because people focus more on marketing than actually the product that they're selling. And that was one thing that I had to learn as well, is that if I want to have a good, solid business and a great reputation, I need to focus on the quality of the product I'm selling as much as my marketing, because the quality of my product will also become a marketing tool. People will, like yourself, I didn't ask you to come on and talk highly of us today. As a matter of fact, we didn't. I came on backstage, mispronounced your name, then we went live. You corrected me, and then we went live. Right? I mean, it was like it was. I never talked to you before.
No.
I mean, it's just you're coming on here, giving us validation because we've focused on creating a good product. But where I think most people fall short is that they don't actually go through our training when they buy it, and they get out back onto the internet listening to other people. And then the second part is that they don't actually get into the testing phase of getting launched. That's why we called our new 5-day challenge the Learn, Launch, Lead Challenge, because it really, the secret is right in that title. It's, you gotta learn and go through. Just spend the damn time. If you buy the book, read it. Right? If you've rented the movie or bought it, watch it. Like, it's that type of a concept, right? And then actually launch, because you're also going to have a huge learning experience from the application of actually launching, right?
Oh my God. Can we just, yes, because I feel like the time frames that people give out on the internet are so not right. I purchased your course. Like, first of all, the $7 to me was back then it was August of 2023 was $7. Now it's $5. No brainer. Like, no freaking brainer. I'm like, if it doesn't work and I don't like it, who cares? I gave up $7. But holy shiz, I don't know what I can and can't say on here. I literally went through the program as fast as I could, as slow as I could, because I wanted to retain it. I didn't launch until October because I was scared, like everybody, but should have done it. And then I spent the next 5 months just trying to hone my skills and learn what the hell I was doing. And then I really didn't start doing anything or like, figuring it out until the next 4 months. So when you say that it is a learning curve and you have to figure out what you're doing for yourself, it's so true. And then testing. Like, I get to a certain point, I'm like, okay, well, I got that figured out. Now you test the next step. Okay, I got that figured out. Then you do, and it's so different for everybody. People just think that everything's going to be the same for everybody, and it's not.
Yeah.
And it works if you just keep doing it and keep figuring it out and keep testing. And I'm finally to a point where I feel like, all right, this is good.
Well, and it's also like, what do you want to accomplish in 3 to 6 weeks or 3 to 6 months anyways? It's like, people don't understand money. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million in 3 to 6 weeks. That's not all the money you need for your life. You're going to pay $400,000 of that in taxes.
Yep.
You're gonna, you're gonna blow probably half of it on something because it's your new money, if not more, because you don't know how to manage and invest it properly or hold on to it. Money that comes fast usually goes fast. So most of us, it's a blessing that we don't make millions of dollars up front because
Right.
we wouldn't know how to manage it or handle it. We don't have the
To deal with it.
discipline. Why watch the documentary Broke of why 70% of NFL football players are broke within 5 years leaving the league. There's no financial literacy that
No.
happens. One of the things that I do at our masterminds is I break down. I always have a segment on Sunday that goes over the mechanics and dynamics of managing your finances and growing your wealth. And it's very simple things, but often overlooked.
Yep.
And most of us need to really eliminate and delete this idea of a time frame or expectation that something is going to happen within a certain amount of time, and start focusing on how can Mark Harbert was on 15-year marketing vet yesterday, is the trainer in the digital courses Blueprint. He great friend of mine, has become a great friend, was a marketing client and colleague first, and then became a friend. He talked about, I said, how do you track your success every day? He said, well, I don't really focus on sales. Because what I focus on is leads. How many subscribers am I adding to my email list every day? That's a good metric to track, to see if I am generating traffic, which is the lifeblood. Traffic and leads is the lifeblood. Sales is the result that oftentimes happens only after time of developing trust and delivering value. But leads is the lifeblood. They come first. Without leads, you don't have a chance to make sales. So instead of trying to be like, I'm not making any money, or how fast am I going to get to a certain amount of money? It's like, that is buying a lotto ticket mindset. Instead, become a master of lead generation. How do you do that? Well, you have to market, and you have to learn how. Going back to that Stan Store example, most people are losing a significant amount of leads that they could be generating onto their email list because they have 5 to 6 crappy options on a little drop down oversimplified page, and they're not making a powerful, irresistible offer in exchange for the email address, which is going to convert so much better. And right there is it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. And why? Well, all just if you've got, if you've been in our community, it's just because you're not following the training. You're just not following one of the basics of what we tell you. But that's a great example of.
That is a perfect example. I was going to say that is right up there with the top, is building your email list, which I haven't come across the course yet, which I stopped buying courses, but none of them talk about how important an email list is. Like, that's, again, another super foundation basic that people need to get.
Yeah. So what is, something that has been helpful for you over in building, in executing, in launching? Let me ask it like that. How did you get out of your own way? How did you dial it in eventually to focus on creating marketing content and start to focus on building your email list? And what would you do different if you could go back and know what you know now?
I think for me, it is continuing to go back to the training and the distraction. Be focused. Go back to the training. Keep testing. Everything is, like you said, when you go through it again, you hear and learn more than what you did the first time. I think that is so key. I mean, we can only retain so much, and there is so much information. So much information. So that. Um, and then as a beginner, I see a lot of people out there still talking about like creating your own stuff. Well, as a beginner, you don't even know what that means.
Mm.
I still believe, like you guys train, that starting with affiliate marketing is so huge, so key. I know when I started, I didn't know how or even want to create my own stuff or have all of it. Like I didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's just so much out there now saying that, don't start with affiliate marketing. Yeah, start with affiliate marketing. You got to start somewhere. You have to learn. You have to get the tools to even do anything. So creating your own course in digital products is not where you want to start.
I know, and it's being talked about by some as if it's a new concept to create your own course.
Crazy.
Yeah, start with affiliate marketing and then never stop. Never stop doing affiliate. I also talked about this with Mark yesterday. It's been hilarious to watch people literally just throw their income out the window. We've had affiliates that have done well as affiliates with us, and then they'll want to go create their own course, which is fine. It's sort of also what we teach as you get more advanced.
Not to start.
Build more credit. Absolutely, build more credibility. They built their success story doing affiliate marketing, but then they'll either stop doing affiliate marketing or not follow the terms and guidelines to stay an affiliate and lose all that income. As an affiliate, you want to do anything that you can to not stop that stream of income. You want to add to it. Exactly. You don't want to replace it. I mean, I talked about this again yesterday, and I've talked about it several times over the last recently. I feel like it's like if you're going to build a course or promote other products or whatever, fine. I mean, that's the whole concept of the fishing formula business plan, is that you have one front end offer, which can be rotated or changed or just stayed the same, as well as a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, how many ever helpings you want on the back end that you promote through email. But we see people promoting things as if that's the only thing they're able to promote. And so some will, as I say, some will become affiliates of ours and then stop doing that and go promote something else or their own course, and they've just lost that stream of income. They lost that affiliate stream of income, or they won't, they won't adjust certain. I mean, all companies you affiliate for are going to have, compliance guidelines and things of that nature. You are also going to have that one day if you create your own product and you have people promoting it, because you're responsible for what they say. So you're going to make sure that if they're promoting your product, and some affiliates, if you're making tons of money promoting an offer and the company wants you to adjust something, you adjust it. You don't act like a child and say, "Don't control me." You make a business move to adjust your business in your marketing or however you're doing it, so you can not lose that and add to it. I mean, some of the ignorance of just people who think they know. So you got to be careful who you're listening and following to.
So true.
You're going to be on a hamster wheel of restarting something every few months in basically owning a job. That's what you're going to do. You're going to be in business. You're going to own your business, but you're going to own a job, because you're going to have to start it and stop it. And you'll always be starting and stopping, instead of what I've done over the last 15 years, what Mark Harbert yesterday has done over the last 15 years, which is not reinvent the wheel. I showed my AWeber commissions. I had like 140,000 in outstanding AWeber commissions that I was trying to get. I mean, they needed you to send it through PayPal. And I was like, I don't have a PayPal account. Just send me a check. They were like, we won't do that. But anyways, the point is I had been promoting AWeber for 12 years.
Yeah.
I don't, just because I might like another tool or something doesn't mean that I take that out. AWeber's a good, solid software that's a good value to people. So I keep promoting that. Maybe I give people another option at some point too, but I don't constantly remove things. I add legs to my stool. And that's what ultimately the core four business models, how they can be implemented, is you start with affiliate marketing, and then you either stay an affiliate because you never want to create products and handle your own customer support, etc., or you add a course, a coaching program, a live or virtual event as an add-on to your business, which you can execute simply through email. It's so simple.
There's so much lack of stability out there too. If you pick someone to follow, you see that their stuff and their links change. I think you just mentioned this last week too, weekly or every 2 weeks. Like, so there's something to be said about quality, which like I said, I'll say it again, Legendary, you guys have been around for a long time. Super. And you get what you pay for. There's so many people out there that are like decreasing prices, or again, these very inexpensive, because you get the people that, let's just say, again, I'm just going to stick to you get what you pay for. And Legendary is top quality. I will continue to say this, and I'm not going to forget where I came from, because I think that there's too many people out there that do that, where they are successful with something, they start with it, and then they're all of a sudden they forget where they came from.
Yeah.
I'm like, but didn't you learn everything you know from here? And now anyway, whole nother story. But
yeah, well, I don't get that either. And
it's craziness.
I mean, one of the biggest lessons that we can learn is that, don't burn bridges. I cannot tell you how over the past, in my career, the past decade plus, I have increased my income because I have relationships with people.
Yeah.
And, in order to be a long-term successful person, you can't be constantly burning bridges. You have to learn how to be professional and figure things out, and not be a drama queen or a drama king. I've got some people that I know from my personal life, as I'm sure we all do, and then certainly I've learned of and come across many people here in my career, some recently, and they're just a walking, talking shitstorm of drama and bridge burning, and it's like that's another example of constantly starting over. And I can tell you that it is so stressful. And this is one of the big concepts that I learned as just a business owner, of having people working for me. It's a lot easier to figure it out with existing people that work for you, that you've trained and invested in, than to, always be letting people go and firing people and having drama and having to replace them, because then it's incredible work to retrain people. So when somebody operates out of drama and constantly burns bridges, you can tell that they've not learned that lesson yet, that they're still choosing to do things the hard way, by, restarting their business and restarting relationships, and constantly building new trust and training new people, yada, yada, instead of working it out and figuring out how to continue to soar with people who you've been working with. And so, this is just a basic relation, this is a personal and interpersonal relationship kind of, point here, is that being a successful entrepreneur is as much about, how can you sustain certain practices in your business? How long can you keep your business going without constantly changing and reinventing it? That is how ultimately what you want to do, the goal is really to have a nice, boring business that you don't constantly have to reinvent and introduce new people and personalities into. It's one of the reasons why you see us here at Legendary. We've had a lot of the people who've worked here work here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I mean, 10 years since the beginning since people have been working with me since even before Legendary was launched. And I really believe that you can tell a lot about a person by the quality of the relationships and the length of the relationships they have with the
Yeah.
people that they're working with. And, we see, all these kind of, friendships and partnerships and various things popping up all over. And then, a few months later, they're not, they may or may not be working together, or they may or may not be aligned with that company, and they had all a bunch of drama. Well, they made the drama. They made the drama because they're early in the game and have not really learned how to be successful without it. So, these are just all learning lessons. I think that, we kind of all have to either experience ourselves, or we can be wise and pay attention and learn from other people. And I think you're pretty wise for having noticed and paying attention to a lot of these things and not get caught up in the drama, but stay focused on, your mission and what you're here for, which is learn these skills to launch a business, and then to execute it and not get caught up in a bunch of drama and bullshit, but just build a business that you love, and go and live your freaking life.
Well, it's a constant endeavor, daily endeavor. Speaking of sustainability, because you just mentioned that, I just want to mention too that I think it is so important and great that Legendary talks about the money mindset, because all the courses that I have taken, you guys are the only ones that dig into money mindset and the whole money, which is, like you already mentioned in earlier in this call, how important that is. So
Yeah, man. The money mindset, man. This whole game is a big mindset game. And if you don't have your mindset, dialed in, and everything that you've talked about and brought up here today is about mindset too. It's about not getting distracted. It's about building your own, having your own plan. I mean, it's one of the reasons why we have people, make a business plan as they're going through the $5 challenge. It's like,
brilliant.
grab a clue, man. I mean, like, the reason why we have y'all do that is because it's like, make a fucking plan and stick to it.
Yeah.
If you have a plan, you're less likely to get distracted. But there's another thing, that if you don't fill out the business plan and you don't focus on that, then don't be confused when you're confused. Because you don't have a plan. Somebody else is making that plan for you. Part of building a successful business is about you making a plan and then sticking to that plan regardless of what other people are doing around you. It's one of the reasons why Legendary is because obviously the bigger you get, the bigger the bullseye in your back. We've had all sorts of businesses have problems. They have issues, whether it's other competitors or disgruntled people trying to take you out and do hit job smear campaign, videos or media BS, or whether it's your own bad decision making, or whether it's mistakes you make. There's a lot of, or whether it's you get distracted, answering drama, or you get kind of lost in the sauce of everything else that's going on. The reason why Legendary is because we made a plan from the beginning and stuck with it. And regardless of what people are doing or saying out there on the internet, we don't care. We'd rather put our time towards serving the clients that are here respectfully showing up for class than anything else that's going on. And the more that all of you model that behavior, the more successful you're going to be as well. And I'm not saying that to toot our own horns. I'm just saying that, look, I've wasted time on drama and people talking shit before, and I realized, well, that was a big waste of time. I'm not going to do that again. And you learn your lesson. Yeah.
Yep. And
what have
basics.
You learned about? Basics. Yeah. What have you learned about yourself throughout this?
Oh my gosh. I think that's the biggest part of it. I am very surprised, shocked, and grateful that I'm still here. I stuck to it, and I will continue. You fail and you keep getting up. I heard the other day that failure, first attempt in learning. So don't be afraid of making a mistake, and just pick yourself up and keep doing it. So it's the sticking to it, I think, is what's shocked me the most, and you keep going.
Yeah.
And it works when you implement the foundation basic tools. It works.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. I mean, you don't even have to be that. It's not like you have to be smart. It doesn't matter what you look like or sound like, because when you start to provide value to people through your marketing, whether that's your videos, whether that's your emails, whether that's blog posts, whether that's YouTube videos, whether that's a show that goes live like this, people don't give a damn all the things that you think matter. They only care about how you can help them. So, I mean, it wouldn't matter if you're sitting on your bed streaming live and you're 800 pounds, or whether you have, a face full of freckles, whether you're black, white, yellow, purple, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, whether you're from Australia or Canada or Africa or the UK. Doesn't matter what your upbringing was, how many degrees you have, how funny or not funny. It just matters how you can help them with their problems, and how passionate you are, how real you are, how actually much you care. They don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. That's like the first thing. You actually got to give a shit about people and wanting to help them, not just wanting to help yourself. And once you establish that, your audience, I mean, you just have to look around on the internet and look at all the phenomenons, the phenoms, and the success stories. They're not usually from the people who you think. People think they're going to come on. They're like, oh, I'm popular, or I'm pretty, or this or that. I'm going to come on and crush it. And it's like, and you don't, because that doesn't carry you in this game. What carries you in business, in the marketplace, is that what you have to say or do, or how you have to serve, helps people. That's it.
Yeah, the real.
That's it. That all the the flash and trash in Hollywood, that's all in the movies. This is the real world. And in the real world, people vote with their wallets based on if they're getting value.
Yeah, true.
And so get out of your own way and stop comparing yourself to people, and stop thinking that you're not pretty enough or skinny enough or handsome enough or this enough or that enough. Huh?
Or you can't learn it, because you can learn it.
Totally.
You can learn it. I'm proof.
I was a fumbling, bumbling idiot when I started. I was uneducated, high school dropout, just gotten clean, for God's sakes. I was kind of crawling out from under a bridge, damn near. And it's like, I was just working construction with my dad. I hadn't had any success either. But, you focus on teaching. That's what I've been focused on teaching people for nearly 15 years, is the basics. The basics of how to generate a lead, how to build a funnel, how to automate an email list, and build a high leveraged business through simple, low to no cost tools, and then creating content and courses, or promoting courses that are valuable and will help people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. These days, that email list in the beginning is not enough people teach it.
Well, listen, Tamara, it's been a pleasure. So much more to talk about with you. You've got me ranting a little bit this morning, and I love it. Ranting in a way that I feel good about. It's not like, look, it's just talk. It's just saying the truth, and it's trying to do it in a way that is sort of therapeutic for us, but also it fires, some warning shots for other people to kind of what to look out for, what to be aware of. And I appreciate you doing that in a high integrity way this morning. Stay legendary, my friend. Okay.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Tamara. We'll catch up real soon. I'll have you back on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, my friends, you can go find and follow Tamara on Instagram at Horse Girl Entrepreneur. We didn't even talk about her niche and kind of who she's focused on. We'll do that as we have her as a follow-up second time guest on the show. That was a lot of fun this morning. I love to rant. I love to try to, use my experience to, help people avoid some of the pitfalls and landmines that are out there. and hopefully inspire you all to know that you have already inside of you what you need to be successful. You don't need a guru or likely, more education. If you've gone through our education, even our challenge at the bare minimum, you watch the show, it's free every day. Look, you're learning. There's definitely more in these free episodes than what most people charge for. You go and you implement that and you stay focused, do what we talked about today. You're going to surprise yourself that you have within you what you need to be successful. You don't need a person, a place, or a thing to complete you. You have it. You just have to step into your power and, really follow through. You'll surprise yourself about what you can create. You make small tweaks along the way, okay? And you keep things simple. That's what Tamara really hit on today, and I want to reiterate it. If you don't leave the basics, you never have to go back to them. All right, my friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Look, many of you may have heard about our accountability coaching program that we've recently launched. It is fantastic. It is working. It is helping people so much. It's a 6-month program where we'll hold you accountable to actually launch and put in the work and hopefully get the results that you want. It's all about implementation. It's all about accountability. If you want to get a free accountability coaching call with Dawn or Bonnie or Eric, our accountability coaches, we'll set you up with that. Just email me personally. No pressure, no obligation. I'll CC in them to schedule a call with you. You can hop on. You can get some value, get some tips, get some pointers about how to stay accountable, what they're seeing is working with our clients, and give you information about the program so you can decide if it's right for you as well. No pressure, no obligation. We'll make sure the call is valuable for you no matter what. Email me accountability in the subject line and send that email to dave@legendarymarketer.com. dave@legendarymarketer.com. And we'll set you up with that, my friends. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Stay legendary. And Tamara, thanks for an amazing show. Get out of here, my friends. Peace.